Thank you for joining in. This is our knowledge series on customer experiences and how customer experiences are being created across India as a country over the next 3 to 4 years. Now, how this will pan out is a lot dependent on technologies that we use each day, and most importantly, the people that enable these technologies. Because with these people comes in the idea of how do you better CX process. The innovation happens through these people. So today we have Santosh Gupta, the head of IT from Zealand, and Mr. Prashant Kancharla from Ozontel, basically discussing the focus on CX for each of these companies and where they are heading to. So Santosh, maybe if you can take a moment to introduce yourself and also Zealand, the path that you've taken over the last 2 to 3 years, how you have been focusing on CX, maybe a little bit of introduction to the overall growth of Zealand as a company, and then we can get started.
Yeah, thanks, Ashwin. Just to give you my background, I represent Zealand Limited. We are number one in the education segment in India. We have 2000 plus preschool. Our brand is Kidsy. 200 plus K-12 school. We have youth vocational courses provided by Zika Zima. We have Himgiri University, and we also cater the need of tuition and J2E exams through MT Educare. So recently we acquired MT Educare in 2018 and 19. So that's how we have complete 360-degree solution for education need. It's a diversified company where we cater the complete student need from preschool to university and then vocational courses. We believe in hybrid learning, and that is the reason we have physical presence across India. That's it.
Santosh, just as a quick follow-up, do you believe that handling such a large portfolio of schools, right? Every day the customer demands will continue to change. Are you seeing any emerging patterns in terms of how customers are demanding they utilize your technologies in order to basically engage with your schools across India?
Yes, Ashwin. So pre-COVID, as I mentioned, we are complete hybrid, and we do uses lots of edtech only in classroom, only to specific need of student at higher grade. But COVID taught us when it was like game changer in edtech, where similar to essential things, education can't stop. And within a month's time, we have to roll out everything, and we have to start our school. So we started everything from preschool to K-12, university, vocational courses. So that was complete learning during that phase. Teachers were not ready how to conduct classes online. So those were like challenging tasks for us as IT. We got lots of support from Google and Microsoft, because during those phases they have rolled out lots of things and they have given Google for Education, where everything at one place can be centralized. And that's how we entire school, preschool got collaborated, and we have catered the need of R during those phases. But just to touch base, this entire phase has changed customer demand. Because now, when I say customer, means student, parent, and higher grade student as well. So their entire mindset got changed. Now they need, so the need of is every solution similar to other industry. This should be on demand. So if I need something, it should be available for me. Every parent of preschool, they started searching nearby preschool on their app. So, and they need like better engagement. So this is the pattern like what we understood, and we have to do lots of things where like uh, virtual tour for every preschool, for every school we build during those phases, because and every time like it was not possible to do a physical visit to school. And this is how we have built up and the entire stack of virtual thing. And today that gives us lots of support, because post COVID again, like the trend had got changed, because parents do not want more screen time for their child. So during COVID, like everybody has like 4+ hours of screen time, which is kind of uh, cons for every concerns for every parent. And that is the reason now they need lots of activity, lots of funs, lots of physical things. So again, their experience got changed, and then it helped us like, because we already have physical presence, we already built up the virtual things, lots of online, and the mix of this blended in such a way it caters their need.
Prashant, if you can begin, maybe give us a bit of background on what you have been working at Ozontel on as Chief Product Officer. What does your innovation roadmap in the area of CX look like over the next couple of years? Maybe if you can also take a little bit of time in terms of showcasing to us what specifically will pan out in the world of education technology in the next 3 to 4 years from a CX standpoint.
Okay, so just to give an introduction, right? I recently took over as Chief Product Officer. But I've been with Ozundel for 13 years now. Okay, been in various roles throughout. Name a department, I've headed that department there, and over the time, right? Compared to last 10, 11 years of work and the last 1.5 years of work has been completely different, even in Ozontel. Okay. Previously, we used to see a lot of voice being used across the industry. It's not just about education, right? Last 1.5 years, especially bots have taken over in a lot of industries. Wherever there can be a self-service, a lot of people have moved over there. Especially when you look at banking, financial services, travel, healthcare, these kind of segments. Uh, Things like reports, things like order status, basic things are all catered through non-human interactions right now. But education has been interesting though. One, I'm looking at both the India and US markets. US, we have a few customers there. Okay. Comparatively, I would say in India, education industry as such, we have seen more adoption on the sales processes, which is like you're trying to get more people on board into the organization, right? More students into the organization. Whereas US, what we have seen is mostly it also could be because private versus government run. US, most of the schools are all government run, right? What we are seeing there is the heads of departments in that state or city, they are looking at more bot-based education systems, like what Santosh also pointed out, right? It has to be on demand right now. While we are still thinking that, yeah, we have already implemented a few things there for a few schools, where most of the education content which schools already have online, like even Zlearn, right? A lot of your content is already online. It's available in digital format. They're uploading that into a AI NLP based system and catering to students based on a secure login and password. So of course you identify who the student is. The basic authentication processes are there, but after that the student is completely on his own if he wants to learn. And this has worked. They tried in both segments. The younger classes, like the first to seventh, which is the normal schooling, then the high schools, which is the 8th to 12th, right? And what we've seen is there's a lot of success from 8th to 12th, primarily because they also know how to do self-learning. The first to seventh category, the kids usually deviate. They would not study, but they would probably go to YouTube and watch more videos there. Okay, when you give them digital screen time. So the teachers saw more success with the higher grades there, interestingly. But what we saw is still there is about 10 to 15% need of a teacher being online. Okay, they still need somebody to come online and explain things when needed. So that has been the case. India, we haven't yet done this anywhere, but I think that would be an interesting thing to explore. Okay, and Ashwin, to answer, right, 2 years into the future, it's already started where we have a lot of digital schools. Video has become very, very big because of that, right? But more than the classes itself, learning content on its own, but every school has its own methodology. Like ZLearn has a very unique methodology, and some other chain will have their own way to make kids understand things, right? Now, how you project that content to the kid will matter. And it's not just about the automated system. It is also about keeping your brand, keeping that basic thing of how the school makes kids learn. That's very, very different for each school. That emotion or that basic nature of education cannot change, even if it is with an automated system. And at least in our labs, we've struggled to do that. The AI system responds the same whether it is a ZLearn content or it is another school's content. And that I think is where we are struggling. So if that can be cracked, right, if we can hack that, then I think automations are possible here for this on-demand learning. Otherwise, it's more rote learning where you make standard videos, kids will search for a video and just look at the video.
Thank you, Prashant. I think very detailed in terms of where we are heading towards as an industry. Some of the insights you just mentioned are probably forays into the next leg of discussion that I wanted to bring up. And Santosh, this is largely got to do with the idea of AI and automation with CX. Right now, for CX, and especially when you're talking content, when you're talking knowledge industry, as in the education technology industry, and where multiple children of different age levels, like Prashant alluded, occur. What do you feel is the role of AI? What are we doing currently? Where are we going to head into the next 3 to 4 years? What is the overall picture in your mind with the use of AI for CX in this particular world? What do you envision that you would want to do with AI? And more specifically, as you move forward with automation, what are those large use cases that you're developing as Santosh for ZLearn?
Yes, Ashwin. So Prashant has touched the right thing. In Zealand as well, like we have a different kind of student and their different needs. Screen time is concern for all the parents of preschool, especially KG to 7th grade. And thereafter 8, 9, 10th, 8 to 12, it's almost like sorted where like child is matured, student can learn by their own, and their all use cases can be set. So we are facing lots of challenges in preschool segment where we have two different customer. One is child and the main customer is parent. So we have to engage both. And we have built lots of use cases where like automation can be done, and we support the learning through those bots. We are exploring. We can't use the GenAI as is in our system. So that is the reason we have created our own ecosystem. We have created lots of like physical based activity using AR and VR, where like child has to do some physical activity, and then using the device, he can explore the world of learning through AR and VR. And by combining all these use cases, we also engage parents. We give them like daily progress, what the child is learning. So our entire pedagogy is based on like multiple skills, numeric skills, language skills, and we touch base each and every skills in our activity. and we give parents a kind of like where his child is progressing, what kind of things he needs to take care. So we do have lots of like worksheet. So basis the learning, those worksheets automatically get populated to parents, where he has to spend time with child at home, and he has to do those activities. So we provide all the material in our kit. Those can be used and do those activities at home. And thereafter, like lots of like other skills we are also promoting, like where artisy is one of the thing, where he starts like painting his own art, and finally those arts can be put in his like bedroom and wherever, where like he can see himself as a like artist. So he starts can dreaming like where he wants to go. So similarly, like other skills can be developed. So still like we are exploring, like we are not at, so I can't say like we have completed the our journey. It's just a beginning, where every day we are finding a different use cases. We do solve those puzzles. So this is like preschool, then K-12, there is a different ball game. Student is different, customer is different. There the major challenge is teacher, because we need to train our teacher for adopting all those new skills, new automation. Because once they know how this system works, they set up the context in classroom. So once they have completed their classroom, in classroom they have to use some concept base through computer lab, and they also use audio, video, 2D, 3D pictures or video, just to give higher level of understanding to student. Once classroom is over, automatically assignment gets triggered to all student. And next classroom, teacher can monitor through an app like how many students they have completed their assignment, how many is pending, and where she wants to start this class. So he understand like, okay, this is the maths class, and all the students they have solved the assessment, so they know this concept. Now I have to start with the next. Some of the students they have highlighted like they have some concern, they need like this needs to be recap again. So that solves that saves lots of time of teacher. So this is how we if we are catering that need as well. And as I mentioned, like we are exploring a lot. I personally see in next 3 to 5 years, there could be a lots of like teacher virtually available. Okay, so suppose we have like 5 or 10 maths teacher, they are very popular, and they have a kind of like pattern to concept clearing. So same pattern, same teacher can be modeled in AI, and those teachers will be available on demand.
I mean, brilliant, right, Prashant? Now, if you look at what Santosh just mentioned, there are a couple of things that we never thought were possible. One is the encouragement and nudging that physically teachers used to do in the world of school is what Prashant is alluding to, Santosh, sorry, is alluding to from a content standpoint, right? How do you push some of these skills into these children? How do you encourage them, nudge them into believing that they could do more, they could explore more, and they could use these skills in the settings of professional environments in the future, right? And that's what you are going ahead and doing, Santosh. And the last bit, Santosh, that you spoke about, where you are able to also automate the creation of content that is customized not just for the student, but basically the USPs of certain specific teachers that could be virtually available. I think that's another brilliant use case that you could potentially see in the next 3 to 5 years from an automation and AI standpoint. Prashant, any other large use cases that you are seeing that are very fast evolving from an AI and a cloud standpoint?
Yeah. So, well, Santosh has stuck to the core, right, which is education itself, right? But when you look at the education industry, once a student comes on board is what Santosh is talking about, the learning aspect, how the students learn and how you support the parents also, right? But first of all, how are you getting the students? How are you retaining them? Okay. And usually there are a lot of operational activities. Attendance is one, fees is another one. Okay, then there is a scoring system, homeworks. Okay, where are the homeworks being uploaded? So there are a lot of platforms being used by the schools right now. Even my kids, most of their homework is on a platform. They log in, look at the homework, and we also get to know what the homework is for the day, and we go through it. While the software part is sorted out, right? When we again go back to our core topic, which is CX, the customer experience itself, right? This entire journey from start to finish is not yet sorted. Okay. I've seen a few education industry in the education industry, especially universities. They have gone through complete automation from a student acquisition point of view, which is more sales. Okay, so if you while education we say is non-profitable, right? You need to have full capacity to pay the salaries of teachers, pay the site costs and everything, right? To acquire students and get to full capacity also is a challenge actually. Okay, so this is more from a sales and acquisition point of view, where there is complete automation of the customer journey. Okay, like ads is one thing where you promote and say we have admissions open and all of that. But what happens once somebody inquires with you till they get converted, right? We have made that into a complete self-service mode where once somebody inquires with you, we you can design customer journey in such a way that in case they don't come back with the next step, the system automatically sends them reminders and just sends a internal notification that this prospect has not yet uploaded his transfer certificate from another school. This activity is pending. Okay, and then the somebody internally coordinates and gets through that process and gets the student onboarded into the school. Okay, then operationally also we built some automations for schools. Of course, we have integrated with the backend attendance systems and marks scoring systems, which are stored somewhere in the backend. The parents can get their kids' attendance, can upload a leave certificate, can get the marks, historical marks, even look at assessments online through a bot directly. Okay. Of course, there is software which is supporting it in the backend, which the school would have acquired already. We integrate with that software and show all of this in a bot. So this is like a complete self-serve. Parent doesn't need to come to the school, neither talk to a teacher or a coordinator at all. Okay. So these two have been automated. But student education as such, which is the core, right? That, like Santosh said, I agree. It's a long way away, because one is that emotion, like I said, how do you put that school's emotion into the content which is being shown out? Second is AI systems respond very strangely, even right now. Gen AI is not so trustworthy yet. While it looks cool on ChatGPT and all that, right? When we're talking about kids and especially students, when they ask something, is the exact content coming out or not is a very big challenge that no system guarantees yet. So the core of education as a system, we are 3 to 5 years away, like Santosh said. That is not yet assured and tested.
No, good to know. I mean, we are also seeing the same. Currently, whenever you speak about AI, largely the focus is on making sure that the transactional queries are being automated at pace. And I think from a business value generation or complex querying standpoint is where we are looking at a 3 to 5 year timeline. I mean, most of the examples that we are hearing from the industry also allude to the same fact. Hopefully, we'll get to there sooner than later. But coming to the last leg of discussion, Santosh and Prashant, the idea is to summarize and close on what are those very large scale challenges that we need to be aware of from a cloud or an AI standpoint when we speak about CX. Santosh, if we can briefly touch upon that, big roadblocks ahead that other technology leaders should be aware of. Maybe if you can start a brief.
Yes, Ashwin. So, personally, we are exploring all the cloud as on today. I I work with Azure, Google, and AWS. So there are like lots of like services are available in build, uh, and how to use those services and how to build our use cases by using those microservices is a challenge. So it's a learning phase, and that will take some time to set up the concept. But physically, once we build a solution, that solution gets deployed, gets implemented across the network is another challenge. Cloud supports a lot basis like optimization and performance because I can build a solution for 5 user and I can scale up to thousand or lakhs of users. So there I see the advantage of like using this cloud build solution. But at the same time, when we start with small, we are not aware about like because that at that time the cost is not a challenge. But when we build up and we scale up, then it eats our budget. So and suddenly the bill gets generated in lakhs. So today I am facing that challenge with AWS and Azure, where my monthly spend is almost like double what we have budgeted. And how to control that? It's technically we are working with a partner and we are getting there. The other challenge which we see because we build solution in one language and we have diversified customer across India. They have different language of their preference. There, personally, I see lots of like AI support is already we started using that, and still like it's not like up to the mark, but it's getting matured, and over the time like text to video, converting those video into multiple language, and this is how we are exploring and we are building our content.
Got it, Santosh. Thank you so much for that. I think cloud FinOps is going to be extremely crucial, for every technology leader. Prashant, I would leave the floor for you to talk about some of those very large-scale roadblocks from a CX standpoint. But if you can also touch a little bit upon the focus on cloud-related FinOps.
So let's cover the cloud-related FinOps because this is something which is a common problem, right? Usually, most of the education institutes have been there for a long time. So there, and we at Ozontel have also faced this where we were on bare metals. Some servers were hosted in office as well for a certain extent. Then we moved to a data center, but the servers were being still maintained by us. Then AWS Mumbai came up. We started looking at move everything to the cloud. Okay. And that's a big challenge actually, because when you are looking at a physical server and the way you design software is very, very different from when you move to the cloud and you have to design the software. And usually everybody will start with a VM where you just copy paste from the bare metal to a virtual machine. And with this, the cost increases a lot because usually AWS or Azure, any of these clouds, the cost is not so cheap. Okay. Unless you get into a completely auto-scaling group kind of a solution and a complete serverless architecture. That transition is a 3 to 4 year journey. Okay, I think Santosh is in between that where you've seen the costs going up completely. So we were at this phase about 2 years back. Then slowly we started moving everything to auto-scaling groups and serverless architecture. And we are able to do at the same cost at 2 years back, but at 10x capacity right now. So cloud will definitely give you an advantage, but you have to quickly go from that old bare metal thing to this, and that's where the FinOps will come in. So actually, your DevOps team is very, very crucial to get there immediately. Yeah, that's one. And overall, right, just to give concluding thoughts, Ashwin, two key challenges which I see as people adopt more and more software and technology, right? For any school chain, actually, it could be Zlearn or any other school chains, right? What differentiation becomes very, very difficult after that. Because if everybody is using the same technologies, how do you differentiate your school education system from another school's education system? That will remain. Like I keep saying this, that emotion of the school, if it goes off, right, then the parents and the customers, who are the parents and the kids, they won't see any difference between two schools. From their point of view, it could be an advantage, but when you look at it overall from a ecosystem growth, right, will probably be creating robots and not individual thinkers then, because different education systems will create different thinkers and different ideas also. But if we standardize everything across schools with technology, right, then everybody starts thinking the same way, and we won't have out of the box thinkers, geniuses coming out of that system. That I see is the biggest challenge, actually, how we adopt the technology. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prashant, and also Santosh, for both of your insights. While I would like to continue this conversation, and this could get easily extended for another an hour or so, my editor will have a very tough job bringing this down to 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm going to stop it here, put a stop to it, and happy Dasara to both of you, and thank you so much for taking time out and joining as part of this knowledge series. This will soon be published on our website, and hopefully some of this insight will be utilized by some of our audiences in their daily process. Thank you so much, Santosh and Prashant.